Hello, Praetorian visitors and residents, and welcome to the Splintermagic show. I'm your host, Baby Omega, and I stream on Splinterlands TV every Wednesday from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. in the morning, as for the new daylight saving times, and Sundays 8 to 9 in the morning, also Pacific time. Hello to everybody, and guess what? We have a very special guest. So, without further ado, I would like to introduce you to the fanciest of the keys around, Mr. Walking Keys. Hello, sir,
Oh,
and welcome to the show.
what's up, man? How you doing, buddy?
Uh,
Good to see you.
always,
Thank
always,
you so much.
always glad to talk to you, man, about Splinterland. So, I'm happy that you could find the time to join us and be part of the show. Exciting. I heard I was listening yesterday to your solo. Well, not really solo stream. Everything without gangs counted solo, but yeah, your stream with Darkest Night was awesome, and
Thank you.
yeah, and your debate with gang the previous day was also spicy and awesome. But so much going on around the game lately.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about all the new stuff, all the changes? Like, what excites you the most? I think I know the answer, but just for the audience, what excites you the most?
To be honest, and you're probably right, saying you think you know the answer. The answer is probably Rooney for me. I'm freaking loving Rooney. I've got my screen open over here, looking at listings, and there was one just sold for point 0.5 ETH, so that's good to see. So there is market action. I'm loving Rooney. I'm loving like the game, the overall game, and the ecosystem's just growing. Got Luthien. What's up, Luthien? I mean, it's just an amazing community that's growing. Maybe not like expanding out, but we are growing in depth as a community right now. You got people like you and Splinterlands TV doing amazing stuff. And what that is doing is, people are investing in this in more ways than just monetarily. They're investing their time and now they're connecting. And we got to connect at Splinterfest, and hang out, which was one of the coolest things I've ever done regarding a video game. And it's just an amazing growth that's happening. I'm excited to be a part of it now.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I still miss Splinterfest, and I do hope somebody makes
Me too.
something regional here. But I mean, at least you guys there are already planning something, which is nice. I guess we're not so proactive here, but hopefully things will change. Um, about the Rooney, which aspect of the Rooney are you most like? Are you planning to do something with your Rooney as a persona, or are you just excited for the fact that you can make it look cool and have all the perks that comes with it? What excites you the most about it?
I tell you, man. I mean, the answer to me is yes. Like I'm excited about all of it. I. It was funny on stream last night. Hopped on with Darkest Night, and we were talking about that. We read through the new article that was just posted yesterday about all the future utility for Rooney, and I was on stream, and it was hard to digest and be on stream. You know how it is.
Yeah.
But then later, I went and reread it, and I'm like, this is pretty amazing. They're doing some amazing things, and it definitely changed my overall strategy because my first thought was I would be able to take my Rooney and take this piece, put it on this one, take this piece, put it on this one, maybe pay a gas fee or vouchers or whatever. But now knowing that you have to take two and you can only take the best of whatever you want out of those two and everything else gets burned, that has definitely changed my strategy. So I sold one this morning. I'm kind of level and getting more ETH kind of stockpiled. And I'm just watching for good deals and now I'm looking just for quantity over necessarily quality. I have the one, my favorite one behind me on the wall. Like that's Fancy Keys. He's the one that's
Yes,
going to be on like
fancy
my
keys.
thumbnails for YouTube. And I really like that one. I might level it up a little bit with the background or something, but for the most part, now it's about quantity and having enough to be able to be a part of whatever future growth there is and still have some flexibility if I need to sell one or whatever. But I also just enjoy the NFT open market or open sea market where you can buy and sell and put in offers and get things at low prices and then flip them for a little bit and just work your way up to really nice NFTs. So I'm excited for it, man. I really couldn't be more excited about the whole project and what it means to the ecosystem too. It opens us up to Ethereum, which is massive. And Splinterlands is getting a lot of people are saying, "Hey, it didn't bring in these ETH whales that we thought." I've been looking. I mean, I'm on Rooney. I'm looking at it right now. Like literally every 30, 60 seconds, I'm looking at that page. Those people, there are new people hitting the ecosystem. So that's exciting to see. And this is a different way to do it. They also said the ETH that's being used on this is being burned by or being they're purchasing DEC with it. So I mean, there's a lot of good things happening because of Rooney. So I'm excited, man.
Yeah, so yeah, I was about to ask you your opinion whether you think it was success or failure, because I think a lot of people, well, see, I was expecting an instant sale. I mean, not instant, but yeah, within half an hour. But yet somehow I'm not disappointed. But some people that were expecting a fast sellout are disappointed. So I was just curious,
Yeah.
do you see it as a failure or as a success so far? Having in mind
Well,
not many outside uh, people came into the project.
right. Well, I think new people did come to the project. I don't think it was what we expected. I definitely don't think it was what was expected.
Yeah.
But I don't determine a project's failure or success on expectations because like land can be freaking amazing, but if the community is expecting something that they don't get, they may not appreciate the actual value of land. But over time, they'll realize it. You know what I mean? And I feel like this is Rooney may have not met community expectations with sellout, but we also faced something kind of challenging was Ethereum went up 25% literally the day of mint
Yeah.
or once they set the price. So what was supposed to be 500 became $630 on mint day. So that really kind of changes strategies a little bit. And that also means the market purchases, people can't buy as much and get as much volume in there. So I think that hurt a little bit, and much like the price of SPS going down and DEC going down right before the Chaos Legion launched, it was really high when they set the PAX amount and the price and everything, and then it dropped like 70% right before the public sale. So that too they've had bad timing in that respect, but the long-term success of this for me will be the overall utility they have, and then the desire for Rooney after all of this initial hype wears off. Like when it's in the game, people are playing with it. Is that going to be so cool that people are going to be like, "Holy crap, this is awesome! I have to have one. I don't care what it looks like. I just want one in my deck." If that happens, then this is going to be a huge success.
Yeah.
They made over what 1.4 million dollars in Rooney sales. So I mean, they've done pretty well with all this.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you, like that. For some people, the ETH price might have been a stopping factor, but I'm thinking whoever
Yeah.
was planning to do anything about this project had already had their ETH. What I think, I'm not 100% sure, but how I feel it is, um, maybe a lot of detriment to this was the high creator fee, because usually a normal fee is around 2.5%, and theirs was 7.5%, and when you add on top of that the OpenSea 2.5%, it already comes to 10%, and a lot of I was thinking that the focus is mainly in the beginning on flippers, people who come to flip, and when they see when they see something like that, they just 1 second. They just kind of
Yeah,
instantly turned off by the prospect. Like if they were planning to make money, now they have to make twice as much.
yeah, it's 10% that you have to account for no matter what. Yeah, and it is tough, but I do think, I unfortunately the creator fee going up is becoming more of a thing. And so I think 10% is almost at this point kind of normal. If it's over 10%, that's where I kind of draw the line. But I do think the creator fee, having a higher creator fee, is going to allow revenue to come in for Splinterlands on a much longer timeline and in more substantial amounts, so they can then use that money to provide utility back to Rooney. And I feel like Splinterlands, because we're not just buying an NFT of like five guys that work in a garage or whatever. We're buying an NFT from a company we all trust and believe in and play every day. And so I'm more willing to believe that 7.5% will go back into Rooney development, or at bare minimum the game development. So to me, I don't really care if they take that
Yeah,
much.
no.
You know,
The question comes up to whether like counting on quantity over quality, like
mm-hmm.
fewer deals made on 7.5%, countering the bigger amount of deals on 2.5%, like which is more like it's been nobody can say for sure like what is better to sell a few stuff
Yeah,
more expensive or plenty of stuff cheaper. Like people, different people are going to different directions, but yeah, for me, even though it didn't sell out, it didn't attract the attention that they were thinking is going to attract. I'm thinking since it was a first project, and since it's something they constantly work on adding utility, as we've seen from the post yesterday. I think overall it will be a good addition to our game.
yeah, I agree. Are you now? First of all, I have to say it's unbelievable and uncanny that you got a Rooney that looks almost exactly like how you dressed up for Splinterfest. So
Right?
I think that's freaking amazing.
Karma, right? I mean, I want, yeah, the main character that I love in the game for a long time was, and it probably still is, Auric. So I was
Yeah,
like, yeah, that's who I go for the Splinter Fest. And then when I saw this Rooney, I was like, okay, my man. Yeah, I mean, you're not rare or anything, but you exactly see. The only thing I can work on is my weapon. I would like a
yeah,
staff, but it's not really that important since at least color-wise it matches the rest. So
yeah,
even if I don't do
yeah,
any change, I like it the way it is.
yeah. I agree, and I'm really happy. I minted the one my Rooney that I use, and then I've picked up a couple more in the market. I'm going to pick up more
Yeah,
between now and then. Between end of mint. Um, but I'm really happy I got one that I like, because that was my biggest concern is, am I going to get one I don't connect with? And I like the one that has like the frills and stuff. I think that's kind of fancy, and that's pretty
fancy
much
keys.
the opposite of who I am. So I think it's ironically funny.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's like when you say little Jim, they're not really that little. I mean, it's like
Yeah, yeah,
who they call little. Like they hold little somebody like huge. Like
yeah.
that's the
Call
irony
them
of it.
tiny.
Uh, so have you already forgiven the team for giving you short notice?
Give me what?
After you slept on it, have you forgiven the team for giving you or changing the things a little bit after the min started?
You know, it's funny you say that, and it's not. I we talked about this on stream. The team is changing, not necessarily changing, but giving more details or adding things to projects after launch in a very short amount of time after the launch, right? So adding SPS to tower defense, even though that was a Dow vote, like that vote could have been done a couple weeks earlier. Like what's the difference between doing it, right or before or as the project launches, than doing it a few weeks out or a week after or during the launch or whatever. So it's not necessarily that those things bother me, but cumulatively, it's starting to like. I want them to kind of either get their ducks in a row a little bit better and start giving us more information or give us votes or let us have a say or do whatever earlier. And then after the launch, things stay consistent and it's kind of what we expect. For example, component swapping was called component swapping, which makes it seem like you can swap components. I mean, that's in the name. So taking that and then saying, then it's like burning. And that's the typical process on the Ethereum blockchain. If you have two NFTs, you can burn them to make one, like superior one. That's pretty common. So that in and of itself isn't different. But the component swapping, that would be kind of revolutionary in the industry. So, but that isn't what's happening. So that makes me a little upset. It definitely changes my strategy. I definitely would have done things differently leading up to the point. Like I'm happy with what I did, but still I would have done a few things differently.
I have an input on that,
So
if you
what's
allow me.
that?
I have an input on that, if you allow me. Because I wanted to say it yesterday on your stream, but then I was driving and I
Yeah.
couldn't type as much. So
Yeah.
what some people I think fail to realize is in many aspects the company is a pioneer. They're
100%.
they're doing stuff that haven't been done before. So a lot of times they have to act on something when it happens prior, rather than knowing what will happen prior to. Like they're more like reactive than proactive in this case because they need to
Yeah.
address things. And it was in the beginning when they did the mistake with the DSC and SPS, and they were like, okay, we have stated it, we have done it, we have to
Yeah.
wait on it, and they waited for a long time, and they haven't done a lot of things in that amount of time because they were waiting. They were like, we don't want to piss the people off because that's what we said. We're going to stick to what we said before and not
Yeah.
change anything. Just write it out. Well, that didn't turn out very well. So I think what I'm seeing lately is them actually acting on what people are saying, like on people's sentiment. And I know you cannot always make people happy, but initially when the whole swapping thing was announced, there was an outcry that there will be so many runes with only common traits that will drop the floor so much, and I think that might have in turn made them realize, yeah, for sure. I mean, if we do that, if everybody just picking the nice aspect and then the runes are left with nothing desirable, they'll be like put at lowest prices. So maybe instead of
Yeah.
that, we can just you choose from the two runes, you choose which traits you like best, and you make one rune. And I think that makes sense. And they don't they don't punish you if you do it with two or three runes, one element each, because at the end of the day, as many runes that you put in your rune, that higher level that rune will be in regards to when it comes to utility. A rune that has two more rune in it will count as three rune. So it doesn't matter how many. I understand there is the cost aspect of it, but they still give you the chance of over the time working on, because maybe you can get two rune with one rare trait each
Right.
for cheaper than one rune with two traits. So you still
Right.
have that chance, and you still have now a three rune in one, which counts as three rune. So yeah, I mean there are many ways to go, and I don't think it fundamentally changes anything. What I think is, if anything, what I think it changes is that now we know. First of all, there won't be that many useless rune to dump the floor. And second, the common traits of the Runis, instead of becoming more common, they'll become more scarce, because now most of the common traits are being burned for cooler ones. Then obviously they go out of existence, and obviously the ones remaining has their percentage increased. So it's an
Yeah.
interesting dynamic, I think. So I don't know. I just think that we cannot be that hard on them changing things right after they put something on, because usually our community is very vocal. The moment they do something, people start commenting and reacting on it straight away.
Right.
And they see that. They
Well, I
see that
think
all the time. So they have to act.
yeah. Yeah, and I do think that that's part of being part of a DAO, and that's why it's so important to have voices, like yours, like everybody on Splinterlands TV have, these people like Infidel and After Sound, like all these people doing all this stuff out there. Um, it's important to have all these people and comment on this, because people need to get different views, different opinions, so they can make positive, confident decisions when they vote on the DAO. So I love having discussions where there are two sides being presented, and it was not necessarily the fact, like the actual change of the burning mechanics and stuff. I love the burning mechanic. Like I love what they're doing. My only hesitation was, again, that's information. Even Matt said, I think on Discord, hey, I didn't know it wasn't out this way, so we had to change, update it. Like it looks like it was a miscommunication on team or something like that, which I'm cool with. And it's not even that I have to forgive them. It's just these types of things are adding up, and the perception is that they're making last minute changes, and that's what I'm most concerned about, because when you start adding up doubt on a project, that can accumulate, and spread easily. So what the goal should be to really have everything lined up, ready to go, and then make sure everything's buttoned up. And if there could be changes, like understanding how the swapping would work, that's stuff that should have been thought out ahead of time. To be honest, if people on streams are talking about it, that should have been thought out kind of ahead of time. But even if it wasn't, I'm happy they're changing things for the better afterwards. But I don't think that's what this was. This was just a little miscommunication. But that miscommunication affected how some people bought and sold in the marketplace. So I do think that could cause frustration in some people. And for
And
me,
it did.
at first I was like, come on. I just, because I did make two moves that I absolutely would have changed. They had good, solid, rare, or epic traits, but only one, and everything else was bad. And so I sold those at a lower price than I would have, knowing this information now. Like at that point, I'll save that one to level it up. And then after that article too, I think they were really big on talking about the actual mints and being able to mint one and being a part of someone that minted a Rooney. So I think minting your Rooney and holding on to the ones you minted are going to have some value too down the road. So like there are things that I probably would have changed, but overall, like I said, I don't really care. I pivoted. It's the nature of this industry. At the end of the day, I believe in the project. And I think one of the biggest challenges is they were trying to pack in so many things that they promised for a long time, had in the pipeline for a long time, that they couldn't. I feel they felt rushed. And now everything's kind of slowed down after Splinterfest. We've launched GLX, Tower Defense, Rift Watchers. We have Lux Vega coming out. We have Rooney out. Like all this stuff is happening. Now tech modernization's in. Now they're going to settle down and really work on a timeline that works for them, that isn't as forced. Because other than Rebellion, which is next summer, and other than LAN, there's not too many, and nodes, I guess, there's not too many other things that are really high pressure, items. So I think they got some time to really settle down and, work through things. I feel like there were a lot of issues with, not issues, but a lot of challenges with stacking so many big announcements one on top of each other and not explaining the component swap from the beginning is one of those.
I still think that
So,
overall they delivered on everything that they promised so far. Like whatever was
yeah.
hyped that it will happen, Maybe it didn't happen exactly the way people were expecting it, and maybe there was some changes. But I'm pro changes, and I think if something is determined to be in a way detrimental to the game, or in any way it can be improved, I don't think they should wait just because it was recently introduced. But that's me. That's my personal
Right.
opinion,
No,
and
I agree.
yeah,
If it's an improvement for sure, 100%, push it out.
yeah,
But it's the changing of things, or not necessarily changing, but it's the stuff that's happening in a couple of weeks. And as someone that sold $1,000, $1,200 worth of Rooney, or based on perception, I understand as an investor, like that's the gamble I'm making. Like unless it's laid out and specified, I can't really expect it. And whatever titles and stuff, like component swap, like initially I was like, come on, it's not what I wanted. But I wasn't mad. Like
yeah.
it wasn't like I had to forgive them. It was just those things will add up over time. And that's what I'm worried about is the level of doubt that could be put out, especially in a bear market. We don't want any doubt in a bear market.
And I was just joking about the forgiving part. I mean, yeah,
That's
but
all right. I love it. I love it.
yeah.
Good
What about
talking
the
with you, man. It's been too long.
come again?
It's good talking with you, man.
Oh
It's been
yeah,
too long.
yeah. It was way overdue this conversation. What do you think about the recent proposal that was accepted about pack burning? I mean, I pretty much also know your thoughts more or less from the streams that I've watched, but still, I mean, we have here 50 people watching, so maybe they want to know how you
About
feel.
pack burning?
Yes, how you feel about pack
Yeah, I
burning.
mean, I feel like again, this is a good decision. Like it has been, I mean, a long time since Chaos Legion's been out, and so making a decision now for burning packs and stuff, whatever it is, I'm cool with, because to me, I feel like, I mean, we saw the art for Rebellion at Splinterfest, so that's already heavily in works. We saw the Battle 2.0 for Splinterfest at Splinterfest, like the battle screen selecting,
The
and
animations and
so
everything, yeah.
yes, so all these huge evolutions of this game are coming, and we've been so caught up in what's happening now that I feel like we're underestimating what's about to happen, and that is this big change in the user experience and how everything looks on Splinterlands, the design. And Nate and his team have done a fantastic job. And I think if we burn packs so we can get to that faster, like I'm 100% for that, because I'm excited for. I mean, Splinterfest really showed the kind of unbelievable, experience that people will have in the future of this game. So yeah, burn them. Let's get there faster. I don't care.
Yeah, and I think I
But
think I think they did it very cleverly with the fatigue thing because if it was like okay, on this date we're burning everything, it would have been kind of like chaotic, and now they're like okay, I mean you can still wait, you still have time, but then you'll be
mm-hmm.
seeing every like for every period of time you see like bugs getting less and less. So
Yeah,
I think that will help them sell a lot of the packs. That I was thinking like probably that decision alone, starting to burn packs, will boost their sales because now people feel like if until now it was like I have all the time in the world, like there's 5 more million packs or whatever in the shop. I mean, I don't need to make rash
yeah,
decisions. I can wait it out. I can see how things in crypto go, and now there is a sense of urgency because now people have to react on what is coming in the future. And I see so many cheap packs. I scoop some from secondary market. I mean, I love my airdrop points, but still 250 for a $4 pack. Yeah, I'll take it any day. So I mean, not a
yeah.
financial advice, but for me, that was a deal that I couldn't miss on. So I stack up some of those because see, uh, even if they sell out like even if they sell out all of them without putting any, it's still something that is going out of print, and
Yeah.
that by itself will make it well if history can be something we can go by. That will in itself will increase their price even, and the scarcity and everything. So yeah, I mean, I think it's a good thing to that. I think the better thing is that they actually decided that they will stick with that model from now on, as in this print is on the shelves from this date to this date. Whatever sells out, sells out. Whatever is not, bye bye. We burn it, we move on. And I think
Yep.
that was one of the best decisions for the game. But I see a lot of people disagree too, so I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, keep things moving, keep things fresh. I mean, the art department, when Chaos Legion launched, the art department wasn't as big as it is now, and doesn't have the resources it does now, and the team it has now is much more leveled up. So I think moving faster through packs and stuff is a good thing. And Yoko here, Yoko-sama
Yeah,
said
I was going to ask
you
you
were
the
talking to.
question. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it's okay. I mean, you already saw it, so you can go with it.
All right. Yeah, Yoko says you were talking about the huge evolution that's coming with the next generation of packs, but what about the average Joe? Could she compete with? I think the next evolution of Splinterlands is dedicated really around the average Joe. It is enhancing the experience of playing the game, making it more enjoyable, making it more fun, and increasing the entertainment value that people get by adding animations and really updating the card art and stuff. It's really making it cool. And the card art already is freaking awesome. But it's definitely a different look with Rebellion than it is with Chaos Legion and Riftwatcher. So I think the average Joe is going to have a better experience, better onboarding experience. And with what Weirdbeard is doing with tournaments, I think that's going to be an excellent introduction. The gold card, or I mean the gold card, the ghost card tournaments to allow people to play and get used to the game, and then figure out what cards they want to get and invest in. So I think the next real evolution is geared towards that everyday person and new consumers of the game. So I think it's a good thing for the average Joe. And the only reason I'm not an average Joe in this game is just because I've been here. I mean, in March will be 4 years. So, or yeah, 4 years of March. Oh my gosh, I'm old. So, yeah, I mean, the thing with a game like this, you stick around during a bear market like this, accumulate assets. When that next bull market hits, you're not an average Joe. That's how it works. So keep playing, accumulating rewards and assets, and that's how it works.
Yeah, I agree, and also I think I agree with you on the average Joe part that it will be easier because every pack sale will come with a new beginning. Because people that are getting now in the Chaos Legion, a lot of the untamed cards are unattainable. But Chaos Legion cards at the moment are relatively decently priced. I mean, you can find a lot of cards
Yeah,
that you can buy for cheap, and then once Rebellion comes, they'll be the Untamed. So if you've joined already, you'll be one step ahead as you build some Chaos deck. So all you need to focus now is on your Rebellion. And then you'll be more competitive because you have that base that now is missing from Untamed. And if somebody
yeah,
joins then on Rebellion and they're missing the Chaos Legion part in case prices shoot up or whatever, they can wait it out this period, wait until the next set of cards, whoever the name is, and then they'll have the base of Rebellion, and they can wait a cycle if need be, but they have that chance to be competitive. They don't go thrown with the sharks. They just have the chance at some point to build a competitive deck. Like for example, I'm comparing it like to World of Warcraft, for example, where you start like at
yeah,
level 1 and then you reach level 60, but then if somebody comes 2 years down the road and they start from level 1, Okay, they'll reach to level 60 at some point, but those people from level 60, they already been to dungeons and whatever, and they have the best equipment and whatever. It's kind of the catch up, the playing catch up is kind of tough. Well, now you have every 9 months or every year, you have a chance for a fresh start. So that for an average Joe should be a good moment to join, or at least to have opportunity to raise in ranks.
Yeah, yeah, and you know, as these evolutions of cards go through, and like for example, you have like you said, Untamed fall off. Maybe that's when you start staking them on land and like retire them to the fields. You know, like you do old horses and stuff. You know, you that Untamed is done. All right, I'm taking that out of my modern deck, and I want to put them on land and let them work on land now. So, you know, I think they're planning if they're going to phase out these decks that are really important. You know, and a year from now, we'll be starting to phase out. You know, the Chaos Legion will be on on the fence. You know, and so all of a sudden, um, we will need new utility for these cards, and I think Land's going to bring some of that to the table too.
Do you remember Vozena, Splinterfest?
But
My buddy?
what's that?
Do you remember Vozena, my buddy?
I do. I'm trying to reply to him. I'm having a really hard time talking and typing.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, I was just wondering if you remember who he was.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
Good
so
time,
he
man.
wants you. Yeah, he wants you to be more provocative with gang. I guess he was having
Yeah,
fun listening to your debate the other day.
I tried to. Genk is just a wealth of knowledge, and he's very passionate about the game, and truly loves the game and the community, and wants just to provide as much value as he can as a member.
That's what I was trying to
And
explain to him too.
sometimes you can fire him up a little bit, and when he gets fired up, he's a lot of fun.
That's what I
So
was
I,
trying to explain to him too when we were talking yesterday with Vozen. I mean,
yeah,
uh,
yes.
what?
So occasionally I'll throw out things I don't agree with, or necessarily, you know, just questions, just to fire them up.
Yeah, what do you think about the rapid uh, movement of DHC towards spec? I was curious.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Selfishly, I didn't mind because I've been saving DEC to get Lux Vega, and so I bought it a while ago, way before all
Yeah, good move.
this upswing. So I mean, it's been good for me personally, but I don't know. I'm not a big fan of overall like we're trying to do so many things to get it to peg that I don't like to see this rapid movement just by the company buying it up or whatever. So I don't think it's a bad thing. I don't know enough to really have a definitive decision, but um I don't know.
It's
I mean
I think
it's helped me, but it's
I think it's a self fulfilling prophecy when the team shows a real hard intention to get it to peg. People start treating it like it's peg. So whatever is they see cheaper, they just jump into it
yeah.
because they see the real intent. Like they see like if there were not so many proposals aimed at that, I don't think people would see the company urgency moving that direction. But as you
Hmm.
see, as you say, when there are so many proposals focusing on one thing only, then people get it. Okay, so anyways, they'll find a way, one way or
Yeah.
another. They'll find a way to get there. So why don't I front run it and get it while it's cheap? So I think that was good. Like even those like half of the proposals did not pass. I think the whole the message, sending the message was the driving factor that moved DC, and it might be like a conspiracy theory or whatever. But I think they're playing very smart in many aspects of the thing. Like they need to be smart because, as I said, this community is vocal, and when there is something the community doesn't like, they're not shy of sharing. Like, oh no, we don't like it, and
Yeah.
then we'll bug you until you fix it. Because, I mean, probably that's a good thing. I mean, as long as it's done respectful and actually way that to contribute something, like not just I don't like it, fix it.
Yeah.
I mean, if you have some suggestion, go ahead and do it. But I mean, so yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's what I think.
You know, no, I think it's a good point, man. And actually selling Ethereum into DEC, especially before Ethereum just dropped 30, 40, 30%, wasn't probably a bad move. DEC is also going down, but that's market pressure. That's the entire market just dropped by 20-25%. I mean, it was a huge drop the past 24 hours, 36 hours. So DEC isn't just dropping because of the news hitting the markets that DEC has been bought by Splinterlands. I don't think that's the case. But, my thought is, like I said, I don't know enough. And I think that hints to the fact that the non-card market's coming out soon, right? So if the non-card market has components where you can buy and sell things in DEC, it really makes sense to have DEC at a very stable peg. So if that's part of their goal, if like I just don't know what else is coming down the pipeline. So if they have things coming that they know about that they haven't told us necessarily, or things they've told us and we haven't really thought through fully, like non-card market. If there's a lot of DEC you can use DEC to buy titles and land claim plots and all kinds of stuff. It needs to be as stable. It needs to be as stable as possible. So that would make a ton of sense to me. So I'm not really too worried about it right now. I trust them. Um, I like you said, what's the rush? I feel like there is a rush, and that could be the non-card market. It could be something we don't see, maybe a component of land to be launched, and phase one needs DEC. So I don't know, but
No,
I do know that
I wasn't
I'm
saying
not too
what.
worried.
I wasn't saying was the rush. On the contrary, I think there is urgency to do so because it's
Mm-hmm.
tied up also to SPS in a way. Like as soon as we get to that point where there it makes some sense of burning SPS, because now at least they're printing less that are being burned, or that are being sunk or whatever. But so now it becomes already deflationary. So now it can come to a point where it's actually driving SPS price up when people
Yeah,
start burning, because for rentals you need DC, for buildings you need DC, for land probably we need DC, for non-car market probably we need DC. They said that all future products will be priced in DC. So I think it's very important for them to do it as soon as I agree with them that it's important. That's my view. I
yeah,
talk only for myself, but I agree with them that it's important as soon as possible to get it to peg, so it kind of start acting like it was supposed to act. Like what's the purpose
right.
of it?
Yeah, and as this community develops too, I think it's starting to bring to light the next big challenge for Splinterlands, and that's how to disseminate all the information that they're getting or that they have. So, is that like we have a GLX town hall? Should there be a tokenomics town hall where we talk about these things with the people, the main guys that are pulling all these levers? Can we talk to them during the town hall? Like, it doesn't even have to be weekly, it can be monthly, but go in more depth and ask more specific questions about the economy. And then during the main town hall, let those be big updates. Let those be, what the team's doing, introducing team members, like the bigger scope. But start breaking down these things into smaller events where the team directly communicates with people like you and me that will then go and put it on our channels and then talk about it and talk through these issues too to the community. Because as we grow it into a DAO, we have to be able to understand, the people that are voting need to have all the details on the voting. And I think that Splinterlands has evolved to a point where they need more than just they can post on Peak D, but there needs to be other ways for people to get this information. Ideally on Splinterlands itself, but that's as this grows and there's so much information, they need to find a good way to kind of spread it out.
Yeah, only I think it's kind of taking time and resources if they decide to go that way, and I don't.
Oh yeah,
I'm not sure they would really like probably when you said like once a month, yeah, maybe that's doable. But they already are dedicating every week 2 hours of their time, at least Aggie.
Yeah.
But most of the
And as
team,
the team grows, it can be different people on the team. It doesn't have to be Aggie and Matt all the time. I agree. They just come to the big ones and run the main one. But other people, and not even like, the people under Hardpoint, the people under Chat are, there's layers of leadership under those that could communicate these things effectively.
see,
So,
unfortunately,
uh,
the way I see their their weekly AMAs, I see them as town halls and mud halls. If it's not a mud hall, it's not really that much of interesting town hall. Although last
yeah,
one proved me wrong. I think the day before yesterday was an awesome town hall, even though
yeah,
Matt was not there. But that the main candies, the actual candies, we get them when Matt is there because he has
yeah,
the overall he knows the big picture, so he can present it to you. Like many team members, they know their little piece of the puzzle and they're good about it. But I feel like Matt knows like the big picture. So once he starts talking, he's talking from that perspective, which always gives me better vibes. I don't know, maybe
yeah.
personal preference.
Yeah, as growing, the town halls have evolved, and they are absolutely critical for people to watch. And if you can't watch it, to follow up, read that summary that they post. It's imperative at this point because it really does things that are said there help you plan for the future of your assets and the growth in this game. And so it's huge. And this whole Splinterlands metaverse that Aggie was kind of just throwing out there, like that is huge, and I have so many questions about that. I'm so excited about that. So, man, I've got to tell you, I do have to run.
Yeah,
I've got to get back to work.
I appreciate
Um,
you spending time with us, man, and thank you for hanging in. We should do it sometimes again. I know.
yeah, man, and I want to bring you on our show too.
Yeah, anytime. I just probably Wednesdays won't work much for you, but I have a Sunday early morning show from 8 to 9, so maybe that will be like if Sunday,
Yeah,
at least you're
Sunday
probably
works
not
for me,
working.
man.
At least probably not working. So, but yeah, we'll
Eh,
definitely bring. Yeah, you do. You still do
oh yeah, yeah. I work
every
every
day.
available. I try to monetize every minute, man.
Yeah.
There's something
Welcome,
I can do.
welcome to the club. Yeah. But yeah, we'll
Yeah,
think about how to bring you again. And thank you for being our guest and my guest. And thank you for sharing your. You wanna before you go, you wanna do some shout outs, your channels and social media or whatever.
yeah. Yeah, man. Just our YouTube channel, which is SHQ NFT Gaming and Collectibles. I stream on there several times a week. Gang streams with me on Mondays and after town hall, and then Thursday evenings. We don't really set an official time, but about 9:30 p.m. Eastern is when we start. And yeah, if we set an official time, we're always late, so we just
Yeah,
gotta let it linger.
yeah.
But yeah, check us out. We post a lot of content, talk all about Splinterlands, and then I'm into some other stuff too that I kind of do on the side, like Bat Cow, NFTs, and VV and stuff. But I'm a nerd at heart, as you can see with all the nerd stuff behind me.
Yeah, the
But man, I
guys
appreciate it.
definitely check them and like and subscribe because that helps them grow. So yeah, you were saying sorry I cut you off.
No, I was just saying thank you, man. I appreciate you.
No, I appreciate you coming and thanks again and we'll talk again soon. I'm sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
All right, buddy. I'll talk to you soon.
talk.
Bye,
Bye.
everybody. Thank you all.
Bye for now.